Yeah, bring you up.
My name is John Clark, and I am here with Kaz and Alex to let's talk about sex. And I am here with other members from Get Together.
Amazing, John. Great to have you here and everybody else. Sex talk, let's us about. Love it, Mary.
And you guys Get Together are here to read out some questions sent in by some members. Is that correct?
Yes.
Well, I am very excited about that. So,
do you have to be in a relationship to have sex?
No. And that's why we speak about consent in our workshops, because if the parties involved are aware and are both consenting to having sex without a relationship, that's fine, as long as both parties or collective parties are involved in that decision.
Exactly. And I think adding on to that, like the traditional sort of idea of dating is that you meet someone, you start dating, you have sex, and then you go into a relationship, but that's not really how it goes. A lot of the time there are lots of different kinds of relationships, and you can have sex with somebody consensually, making sure they know what to expect beforehand, and then not have any other kind of relationship. And you can also have a really close, romantic, sweet relationship with someone, and sex doesn't have to be a part of it, or it's really just about the individuals involved and what they want. And there's no right or wrong way to do a relationship.
What is consent?
That's a good question. So consent is basically if somebody is agreeing to do something, and all consent when it comes to sex should be enthusiastically given, but can be taken away at any point. So you should never have sex with someone unless you know that they have consented, and that means verbally saying to you, yes, I want to have sex, if they are able to communicate verbally, or finding out some other way. So it's really enthusiastically given, and it can always be pulled back at any point. So if you consent to sex with someone and then you decide, actually no, this is not what I want to be doing, you can withdraw that consent anytime you want.
My question to you, Red Crew 2000, is how can I heal from the past?
Well, first of all, I think if we recognise that past traumas do exist, we're halfway there. And I firmly believe that with talking therapists, people that are professionally trained to help us with that conversation, that really can bring us into the present with that trauma to address it. And most certainly with the right tools and the steps in place with awareness, that yes, we can go on to have rich and fulfilling relationships regardless of past traumas. But as I say, with the right professional support, talking therapy can do so much more than any substances to help us put things to rest.
You're not able to get to talking therapy straight away, or you feel like it's not for you, to kind of give a very quick overview of what is a really big topic. When we have something bad in our past, like a trauma, it affects our past because that's when it happened. It affects our present because we're not able to really be in the present and enjoy it without thinking about the past. And it affects our future because we're still like dealing with the issues this trauma caused. So that's a good way to kind of break it down. And if you're looking for ways that you can personally help yourself heal from past trauma, the first thing to do is to focus on the past. Think about what it was about your trauma that really hurt you, that really upset you. Write it down or talk to a friend about it. Cry if you want to, scream if you want to, smash a few plates if you want to in a safe environment. Get it out and recognize what a big deal it is for you. Secondly, focus on your present, which means finding ways to enjoy the time you're in right now without letting that past affect you. Sometimes our past is really hard to forget about and it can be with us every day, but trying things like meditation, getting involved in new activities, getting involved in physical exercise, anything you find that keeps you in the moment, find it and practice it so you're able to enjoy that moment for longer and longer periods. And finally, thinking about your future. If you're overwhelmed by something from your past and you feel like you can't get past it, it can be really helpful to think about what you want from the future. Again, talking to a friend, writing down your goals, applying for something you always wanted to do, but you weren't sure about, or starting writing or drawing or something you've always loved, taking time to invest in yourself and your future will help you move on from your past. And that is a very sort of quick overview of some little things that you can do to kind of start thinking about healing.
How important is the first time that you have sex?
I think that's a really good question. So I think that the first time you have sex can be important in some ways, in that you might, if you don't have a great experience the first time or whatever, that can like take a little bit of time to get over. However, I don't think virginity is important in the way that it gets built up in society. You know, there's a huge kind of cultural thing around virginity, particularly for women, that it's something that you have, and then as soon as you have sex, you lose it, and you're somehow different after you've lost your virginity. And even though the first time you have sex is probably going to be a bit scary and new, it also doesn't change who you are as a person. It doesn't affect your value, and virginity is just, it's not really that important. The only reason that it's important is because it's the first time you're having sex.
There is no such thing as virginity. It's just a cultural and mythological thing.
Absolutely.
Would you say, Mary, that virginity is a social construct?
It is a social construct, and it's actually been the basis of many conversations. A lot of research has been done recently in virginity and hymens and things like that. So it's actually a complete and utter myth. You actually don't lose anything.
Yeah, that's totally true. Yeah, like Mara was saying, so a lot of people used to think that virginity referred to when a little bit of skin inside the vagina called the hymen was first broken by a penis on entrance. But just like Mari says, not all people with vaginas are even born with hymens. And those who do have hymens, it can be broken just from like running around, it can be broken from things like horses, stuff. Exactly like Mari says, the whole thing's just a bit of a myth, really.
Well, thank you so much, everybody. You are fabulous. Have a wonderful rest of the day.
Lovely.
Great, everybody. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Bring you up.